This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boatyard of Keota, Iowa, for all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's Your Choice Family Restaurant of Wayland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Try the John Bain Sandwich on your next visit. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snow blowers. B&B Propane and the family of jet stops. CW Tree Trimming, LLC. We're into your trees, not your wallet. Serving all of Henry County and the surrounding area, and we offer a senior citizen and veteran discount.
Iowa Technology Systems delivers professional IT services. From company networks to home computers, we keep you connected with reliable service you can trust. Enterprise IT services, quality computers, and local IT support. All designed to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit www.iowatechsys.com to see how our services can help you.
They all present the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. It's been a busy day for the Henry County Board of Supervisors here at the Henry County Courthouse in, of course, Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and also for your friendly neighborhood podcast host. The supervisors held a work budget fiscal year 27 session after their weekly Board of Supervisors meeting today. And today is January 27th, 2026. On the docket, Henry County Sheriff Budget fiscal year 27, Rich McNamee. Henry County Attorney Budget fiscal year 27, Darren Stater. And Henry County Courthouse ground maintenance for budget year, fiscal year 27. According to the email the Board of Supervisors received from County Attorney Stater, he submitted his budget to the auditor as per code and code requirement, and he has asked each Board of Supervisor to individually respond to him regarding receipt of his budget and any questions they may have. So I couldn't get him on camera, but I got his office on camera.
Okay, I'd like to get started. Sheriff?
Thank you. I'm sure. You have really low expectations. I brought with me two different budgets. One is the opioid budget. Jesse asked me to bring that to you and deliver.
Thank you.
Will you pass it to Robin, please?
Thank you.
I think essentially Jesse just wanted me to point out, I believe it's item number 5, that they increased that line item by $70,000 of the opioid funds, and that's to purchase 2 new true Narcan devices. And what those are essentially is a device that if you have any kind of medicine or substance that this device, without touching the device, it can still be in its bag or container. You can point that machine at it and it'll tell you about what kind of medicine you're looking at or legal substance. With opioids and fentanyl specifically, if you touch that, it can kill you. So it's really nice to be able to not take that out of a container for testing and know what it is. Otherwise, I think he said everything else in his budget is works in progress, that the Opioid Alliance has already started and Contemplate.
Just a question in reference to this. Aren't you guys doing some kind of an incinerator?
Yes, that is one of the ongoing projects. And I
Jesse's
believe-
right there if you need
Oh,
him.
yeah, come on in. You're just in time. We are working on an incinerator. Chime in wherever you want. Jesse, come on in up here.
Is that part of this or is that separate?
It is a budgeted item, that's ongoing.
Okay.
It'll be part of this year's budget, not,
Yes.
not
Okay.
next
Part
year's.
of
$10,000?
What's that?
No, it's from, it's in the current budget, not the proposed budget.
Okay. Ballpark wise, can you remind us how much that is?
The unit itself is around 15,000.
Okay. And that's coming out of the, strictly out of the opioid.
Yep.
So we guys are just gonna incinerate those?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I thought that's what you told me, wasn't quite sure if it was this year or next year.
Is there anything else on the opioid budget you wanted to point out? I pointed out that June arcs.
Nope, that was the only big thing.
Okay. That's it for that one.
So when you guys are working through the budget then as a whole, how's everything else going with your team that you're working on? Jesse, with the group that you guys pulled together to work on opioid disbursement, the funds?
The team, like the
Public
alliance?
health, well, like public health.
Opioid group.
It's the board, I think is what he's talking about.
Oh, so it's,
Or Kelly Clark.
okay, it's just an informal, group that meets together to talk about what to spend the money on and stuff.
Have you guys got more plans to use those funds other than what we have here?
Yeah, there are some ongoing projects, and then just yesterday, we received notice from, I can't remember the person's name, but they were doing some opioid treatments in the Lee County area, and they wanted to talk to our opioid alliance to talk about transportation for those treatments. So I think that's probably gonna be on our agenda for our next meeting. So, next we have the sheriff's budget, so there's the copy for each of them. 3 different sections. One section is expenses, one is revenues, and one is our pay ban policy. So I would ask you to direct you to the last piece, which is the pay ban policy. Quite frankly, I worked with Jake a little bit on this, and then I honed it to fit the sheriff's office needs rather than the engineer's office. As you can see, the policy is there. If you want me to read it, I certainly can. We have a 6-step interval from the bottom of the pay band to about the 2/3 mark that is based on tenure. It's basically your 0 to 36 month basis. If you look on page 2 of that 3rd section, that kind of lays out how it fits into the policy by job description. When you get to the 36 month, then there's a 90%, 92.5%, 95, and 97%. The first 2 of those are based on 10 and 20 year achievements. The other 2 are based on the annual evaluations. If you look at the bottom, there is some differences there. The very bottom line, it says at 10 and 20 years, you can jump 1 step on the scale, but cannot exceed the maximum in your pay band. And then the other 3 line items are based on caps of those 3 positions. Under Iowa law, there has to be a cap specifically with the chief deputy, cannot exceed 85% of the sheriff's salary. So that is in there. Lieutenant, we have in our policy at 80% of the sheriff's salary, and sergeants at 75% of the sheriff's salary. Those 3 positions cannot reach the maximum on their pay band under the current structure. The only way to allow that is for the back to blue law to be recognized and take effect. Otherwise, those people cannot reach their maximum. The third page of the last section is just our current pay schedule, the current one that dissolves July 1st. And I put a 5% pay increase in there just for proposal of the budget. The red is the 5% increase. And that's just to compare our current pay schedule with a proposed pay schedule. Obviously, the 5% I put in there just for proposal purposes, and where that ends up, what you guys decide, then we can alter that. Do you have questions about that? not, I can move right into, expenses if we could. And that is the very top page of our budget proposal.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if we go back to your third page there.
Yes.
You're putting a 5% in for everyone and then a 10% for yourself,
Yeah, that's correct.
and that's due to the compensation board?
No,
Or
that is
how's that
due
work?
to the Back the Blue law that, we are not in compliance with. That Back the Blue law has been ignored for 4 years and, we are out of compliance with it. So that's what the comp board recommended, so that is what I placed in there. So yes and no, I guess would be the problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of both, right?
Yeah, it's kind of both. Any other questions, Steve?
Nope, that helps, thank you.
Okay, expenses. I'll go through these line by line, and if you guys have questions, please intervene where you need to. But essentially, I started, line item 1 is salaries of deputies out of general basic fund. Last year, we had 7 deputies in this. We added the court security deputy, so I added that deputy into this line item, and I have 8 deputies. You'll see, that there's 5 in rural, which we'll talk about later. The numbers affiliated with that line item that I've typed in there are 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 15. Those are badge numbers. That's just for me to keep it straight. And I can tell you who those are if you wish to know.
Is Chad 15 now?
Chad is 15. 4 is vacant. We're in the hiring process for that. We have testing Thursday. 5 is Adam Humble. 8 is Sergeant Stone Stallman. 9 is Sergeant Aaron Apolera. 10 is Brent Roth, Deputy Sheriff. 11 is Deputy Scott Bell. 13 is Deputy Logan Bass, and 15 is Chet Doak. Those people are paid out of general basic fund
So the increase that we see is
at 5%.
with, okay, that's gonna be. and
So
then
that's a
with-
variable.
And then with Chad Doak also,
Yes,
as a number 15.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Line item 2 is Civil Service Commission. That's anticipation of 1 deputy hiring, publications at $1,400, labs and physicals at $300, and a MMPI test at $300, leaving that the same as last year at $2,000. Next line item, I increased by $1,600 to $40,000. That is uniform patrol services motor vehicle fuel. Essentially, I added a half a deputy, and I increased the amount per deputy per month per fuel. Raised it $1,600 for the year. Next line item is car expenses under general basic, added $3,000 to that. Added $3,000 for upfits. Our upfits, are basically taking a plain vehicle, putting lights and sirens and stripes on them. They've been going up. I think our last upfit was actually $20,000, but we had some unforeseen expenses to that because we had to replace a light bar and a radar and something else I'm neglecting to remember right now, but essentially 15,000 should be able to get a set upfit per squad car. Questions about that? Okay, next line item is wearing apparel and uniforms. 12.5 deputies at $500 is $6,250, and a new person vest, our new deputy vest is $1,500. We'll point out that we do have a grant for vest reimbursement. We get half of that cost back under a federal grant. Left that line item the same as last year. Same with taser and ammo. The next one is $4,000. Taser and ammo expenses, we're right on target with our expenses there, and I think we're fine to remain same there. Next line item is employee mileage, meals, and lodging. I increased that by $250. We have 1 deputy ILEA, meals are $1,500, and then 12.5 deputies at $500, that's $6,250. So that's, basically for any training that additional half deputy would cost, we added $250. Next line item, I increased $625, that's for education and training. The total for that is $11,625. Tuition for 1 deputy to go to Iowa Law Enforcement Academy is $8,500, and then 12.5 deputies at $250. That's $3,125. I did add $50 per deputy for the year just because educational costs are always climbing like everything else, and we added a half a deputy. Any questions with that? Next one is $1,000 for canine training and expenses. Obviously, we don't have a canine, but we will talk about that later. I'd like to replace our canine sometime in the next budget year. So we will have some education and training expenses for that. That completes page 1, if you have no other questions. Second page, motor vehicle expenses, budgeted $45,000. That's to purchase one new vehicle. The 4412 is our oldest main fleet vehicle, and we plan on replacing that during this budget.
Which is that an SUV? What is it?
It is an SUV, yes. Almost all of our fleet are SUVs except for mine and the school resource officer. The rest are, those two are trucks, and that's an experiment to see how they hold up and how they handle. I would like to have a discussion with you guys because I'm looking at down the road. I anticipate that we're probably gonna have to replace 3 next year. Mark and I've had this conversation for over a decade now to replace 2 a year. We budgeted for 1 last year and 1 this year. 2 last year and 1 this year. And we got a little bit ahead of the curve, but next year we're looking at 3 again. I don't know if we wanna plan for 2 this year and buy it really late in the budget, or if we wanna just look at the 1 that we need. Maybe we could look and see how our budget's looking toward the end of the year. If we have some surplus, we can buy another one with that surplus money. For the purpose of this proposal, I'm asking for 1. I think that's what we absolutely need to have. I drove that one yesterday, and it's still running good, still looking good, but it's getting up in miles, and we're probably gonna have to replace it in the next 18 months.
How many miles are you running a vehicle now?
I've been looking at them really seriously the whole time I've been sheriff, usually about 120. Because when we get much higher than that, they start nickel and diming really fast. And the warranties are up on all of these General Motor products that we have. The drivetrain warranty expires at 100,000, and we've been really fortunate to have 2 engines, 1 engine and 1 transmission go bad, just shy of 100, and they were on Chevrolet rather than on us. I think the last one was an engine, and it cost us like $125, and it was for like spark plugs when they replaced the engine, so we were really fortunate there. So I hate to run them too much longer than that, because then we'll end up having to increase our maintenance costs. Thank you. Any other questions about that?
No, I like your idea, though. I think we ought to try to keep that at 2 and look at, like you suggested, at the end of the year to see where we're at.
Yeah.
That way we keep it more consistent.
That's kind of my plan of attack, Steve. I think we'll see how this spring goes. If our budget stays the way it is, we can maybe look at replacing 1 before the budget expires. Okay, the next line item is other, under general basic uniform patrols, and that basically is vehicle tows and abandoned vehicle processes. $2,500 is about what we spend on that, a little less, actually, the last couple of years. But several years ago, we spent about $6,000, and that's basically just whenever there's a vehicle abandoned along the roadway that's a road hazard. We have to tow those in, and we have to handle them through the processes legally to discard them. And we've been pretty good there so far. Next, we'll move into communications, which is our dispatch services. Obviously, we have 5 full-time dispatchers and a part-time as needed dispatcher. Same thing as the pay policy and pay band schedule. I put in a 5% there. That's obviously a variable that we can adjust if we need to. But I budgeted $360,017 for dispatcher wages in communications. Next is supplies for dispatch, that's stationary forms, general office supplies. We budgeted $1,000 for the last 3 years, and we've been really good there. We kind of combine those with administration costs and deputy costs as well. That seems to be fitting well. Wearing apparel and uniforms is the same thing, $1,000. We have the 5.5 dispatchers, and that seems to be fitting well at $200. Meals and lodging, APCO NINA conference, that's a dispatchers conference. Training new dispatchers, $300 plus lodging. We did increase that $250 just because of lodging costs. The last couple times we sent somebody to BIS school. Please don't ask me what the acronym stands for, but it's dispatcher training school, and the APCO NINA conference that we've spent a little bit more on lodging than we had in the past couple of years. So I increased that $250. Education and training services, that's the actual tuition, for a new dispatcher, that's $500. We're gonna leave it right there. Radio and related equipment, $3,500, that's basically the maintenance agreement we have with Electronic Engineering for our base radios, that's $3,316. That is page 2. Any questions? Page number 3, the terminal expense is $900 per month. That is the state terminal, national terminal. I have trouble with that word for some reason, I don't know why, but, 900 a month, so we, continue to budget $11,500 there. Other is just miscellaneous and help wanted ads if we have to hire, put $200 in there just for the ads. And that will complete communications, and we can move on to corrections.
Do you have anything in communications for your website? Is there anything associated with that from a cost perspective, or is that somewhere else?
For
Your
what?
webpage, your app?
The app, we do that through the opioid funds.
Okay.
Okay, corrections. We have part-time jailer position, $33,371. Currently, we have one part-time jail staff member, and we've spent about $10,300 as of the publishing of this paper, December 5th. We've spent a little bit more in December and January so far, but I think we're right on target, and I think that's a good proposal. We do that with the same 5% that we spoke about already. We have 14 full-time jailers. We have increased that by right at $100,000 to $975,467 for jailer wages for the year. That is the same 5% that we discussed. Next line item is food and provisions for the jail. That's so we budgeted $7,500 this year, dropped at $500, and that's just because the last couple of years we have not spent all of that line item, and we budgeted $8,000 for the last 3 years. Questions? Keep moving. Clothing and dry goods budgeted $12,000. It's the same as last year. That's for supplies and inmate clothing and linens. That seems to be right on target. I think we're good with that. Next line item, we increased $800. That's a wearing apparel and uniforms for a $4,000 line item. 14 full-time and up to 2 part-times at $250. I increased each jailer $50 just because of the cost of uniforms. $50 per. That comes up with an $800 increase. Next, we have adult correction services. That's inmate medical and mental health. Have some significant things to discuss here. Our contract was actually $16,600 per month for advanced correctional health care. We dropped out mental health from that contract, and that saved us a lot of money, a little over $1,000 a month. So our contract now is $15,200 a month, which comes to $182,400 for the year. Our prescriptions were $2,000 a month, so that's $24,000 for the year. The biggest thing about this change and why we dropped mental health out of there, we didn't do away with mental health treatment, but we now have a contract with Flow State, which is Sarah Byrne has talked about a few times in here. The state has taken over that mental health service, so they're now doing our mental health services via telehealth for the most part with all of our inmates. And the nice part about that, it's free. And the second nice part about it is any medications prescribed for mental health purposes for our inmates is free. So that's had quite a cost savings for us for the year. So
there's no in-house counseling then?
Not much unless it's like a crisis, and then it would fall on an emergency service. Most of it's telehealth, and Gunnar was really nice about helping us get that set up so we can, if we have an inmate that needs to see a participant or a provider, we can do that via a Zoom link or something similar with a laptop that can go around to each inmate, and they can deal with it right there in their cell.
So there's no counseling when you're in there to get ready to go out on
Nope.
release day?
Nope, but it's all relayed through services through Flow State, so they can help them when they are exiting. Yep.
You see a difference?
Not so far, we just started January 1st, so I think we see a difference in the day-to-day operations, obviously, but as far as recidivism, it'll take a while to tell on that, I think. Last line item on that page, I have 2. One is employee miles employee mileage, meals, and lodging. We left that line item the same, that's for meals and lodging for jail staff to go to, training. At the bottom of the page, I have jail body cameras. We have, as you remember last year at this time, I proposed new body cameras and car cameras for our deputies and our deputy staff, and vehicles. We transitioned all our old stuff to the jail and to our reserve unit, and the jail has been using them, but they're wearing out. We're having, Jesse, you can help me, we had a dozen plus 6, so we had almost 20 body cams through our old provider. They're growing dilapidated, so quite frankly, Jesse worked on a project to purchase 6 new through our new company for the jail staff to share body cams, and our proposal is at the bottom. I don't think this is really much of an option. I think we have to have that body cam service with our jail staff. It's proved itself to be worthy. The initial cost is $14,762 for the first year, and then just like the other camera contract, it's a 5-year contract. The following 4 years is just shy of $4,000 a year. That includes storage. That includes purchase of the stuff, and then at the end of 5 years, we start a new contract with them. You know, we get all new equipment. We continue with the storage and keep moving right along. This line item at the bottom, I think we need to create a line item specific for those expenses in the jail. We don't have that expense in the jail now as a line item. I think I would ask that we start a line item there.
We probably got, see, if you noticed that we got rid of some of those line items
Yes.
that we didn't use, so we could probably add one back in there
Yeah.
with that.
Specifically to the correction side of it, though, if we could, I think that'd be great. And I think this is a must rather than a need. Any questions about that, or do you guys wanna talk about GTAC cameras or anything?
No, I'm sure you do it.
It's the biggest liability coverage that we can get, I think.
Pretty important.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next page. We're still in corrections, education and training, we got 2,000 there, not changing that a bit. Medical exam fees and autopsies, jailer medical for new hires, physical and labs, 1,500, just same as it's been. Building repair and maintenance, $20,000, haven't changed that. I do want to discuss with you, the using of commissary monies in the future to upgrade the accurate control system. That is our key fobs, our intercoms, and our cameras. Gunner and I and Jesse just got an email from Accurate Controls, 7 years old. They're saying that our key fob system is obsolete and its end of life has come. They want to replace it. 7 years old, it infuriates me. We're in a public meeting, so I won't say exactly how it makes me feel, but they want $60-some thousand to upgrade that. We have a meeting scheduled Thursday at 11 to discuss this with them at length.
And Gunner's gonna be there, right?
Yes, Gunner's joining us. We are just in the process.
Good included.
Yeah, absolutely. We are just in the process of replacing the battery backup to the Accurate Control system, which was $6,000. And now they're wanting another 60. I don't wanna talk too ill in favor, and not in favor of Accurate Controls, but it seems like they're starting to nickel and dime us a lot, and it's only year 7. You know, we're just starting year 7, so, I think we really need to talk about a plan. Since this is our work session, I would like to work out a plan on replacing them. They've not been a good vendor. Every time they come here, it's $5,000 to $10,000, and every time we call them and they fix something over the phone, it's $1,500.
Are they the vendor out of Michigan? Or
They're out of Wisconsin, up by Green Bay, between Madison and Green Bay, Ripon, Wisconsin. They catered us a lot when we were getting ready to build. They gave us a dog and pony show, but it's been kind of a money pit ever since. This UPC was, the battery backup was $3,600, but Gunner was a little reluctant to install it because he doesn't know all the details of how that system works. So he's recommending that, and that's part of our phone conversation on Thursday, is having them come and replace it, and he can monitor that, so in case in the future he needs to replace it, he knows how and what the repercussions are if he doesn't do it properly. But between the UPC and them to come here and install it, it's a little over $6,000. And all they're doing is plug and playing, essentially. So I think that it would be good for us to discuss that on how we're gonna proceed in the future, if we wanna continue with them or look at other vendors. I do have a jail school scheduled in February in Des Moines. There's other vendors there that Jesse and I have talked about before and talked with before that have the same services. All the hardware, like the cameras in the ceiling, like you got right there, all of ours are ours. We purchased them when we built the building. The racks are all ours, but the software is theirs. I think for the purposes of the sheriff's office, we're gonna talk to some of these other vendors in February and say, how hard will it be to transition your stuff into this stuff? Cause their Bosch camera is probably the same as these. They're all pretty universal. It's just a matter of changing the software. And that may be a path we can take.
Yeah, I think we're doing the same thing here, talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a
Switching
bigger
vendors.
scheme overall that we can all tie together and get better service and more uniform systems. So I think that, and getting Gunner included is really a plus.
It really is, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for that.
Okay. Next line item we have is, food preparation, that's inmate meals. We still get them through the Department of Corrections, $9 per day. I budgeted a little high at 70 inmates a day. Right now we've been holding in the 50s, but we have been in the 80s in the past. So you can see what that calculates to, $229,950. I rounded it to $230,000, just as you know, you never know where you're gonna rise or sink. I think that's pretty good. The next line item is extermination services. I don't know if we wanna drop that or not. I put question mark drop. I know we've discussed this a little bit, but I know Tyler's been doing it. Do we need to reimburse him for that? Is that gonna be part of his budget? It's only $1,500. It isn't really a big deal on the grand scheme of my budget, but.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We just haven't really come to a
We
final
haven't had a
conclusion.
final conclusion.
But
Okay.
it makes sense.
He's willing to do it, but how we reimburse him.
Yeah.
He's been
because-
doing it, hasn't he? The last couple of times, Jesse? Yeah. Yeah, last couple of times he's done it, right?
Tyler?
Yeah.
He's been doing it for months.
Been doing it.
Yeah, he's been doing it for quite a long time.
Okay.
I just know he's gotta pay for the chemicals, and somebody's gotta pay for his certifications. And I know the jail demands it, it's a requirement.
We told
So,
him to pay for it.
I would say if you guys in your budget finalizations decide that, yes, the sheriff should pay Tyler or the auditor or you as the board for that service, we need to leave it in there. But if not, we can drop it out. I guess it's,
Well, we have some more to talk about, but it's not
Yeah,
a
there's-
lot different than the IT situation.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He's serving all those various buildings.
Yep.
Just like the IT person is serving all those buildings. It's a countywide function,
okay.
so.
So
my
where you end
inclination
up
would
with
be to
that, I'm
drop
good.
that out.
I'm good with that. Next line item is crime commission dues and transports, $28,100. I raised it $100. It's just because the crime commission raised their dues for the year by $100. Drop down to the next one, the other, I recommend closing that. We haven't used it in half a dozen years, so we might as well take it out of the paperwork. Adult correction services interpreters. Our interpreters, I dropped that $400 and left 100 in there just simply because most of the interpreter services are through dispatch, and 911 pays for those. Once in a blue moon, we get an inmate that speaks a foreign language, and we have to communicate with them somehow, so I left $100 in there just for that occasion where it's not a dispatch connected service. Household institutional equipment, left $2,000 in there, and that is page 4.
What does that mean? It's I know.
Essentially, it's just, odds and
That was
ends.
the first one.
It's only $2,000, so it's a monster steal, but something to be accountable to. Okay, page 5, is administration services. I did calculate my salary at that 10%, at $125,109. I still feel we're out of compliance with Back to Blue, and it's not close. It's a long ways off, but I think that 10% is very helpful in getting us toward a goal. Salaries of the deputies, I have an office manager and a clerk. That is their combined salary proposal, $134,413.
Is that with the 5% as well?
That's with a 5%, yes, sir. Next one is custodial supplies, $10,000. That's supplies, mainly custodial supplies for the entire building. Simple dusting stuff, mop stuff, the basics. Motor vehicle fuel is strictly for me, $3,000 for the year. Left that the same. Sheriff vehicle expense, it's maintenance, $1,000.
Rich, on the custodial supply, is that a prison industries type thing, or you go?
You know, Chad, yes and no. We try and use IPI as much as we can. They're not always the cheapest.
Right.
Sometimes it's simply Wilson Distributing right here in town.
Okay.
Local vendor that can get us stuff in 10 minutes.
Yep.
IPI used to be the go-to because they were the cheapest and they were quick. That's not always the case anymore. Dustin does a lot of that ordering, our jail administrator, and he shops the market and makes sure. Sometimes, quite frankly, if we need dusting stuff, we might run to Walmart and get 10 cans of Pledge because it's the cheapest way to go about it.
Gotcha.
That's the truth of it. But thank you. Let's see, where were we? Go ahead.
Yeah, cards.
Car expense, okay? That $1,000 is just oil changes and maintenance for the year. Next year, probably a good chunk of that will be eaten up by tires. I'll probably need a set of tires next year. The next one is stationery forms, general office supplies. I lowered it by $500 just simply because the last couple of years we've been a little low in this budget item. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I guess we'll just see how that comes out and whether it haunts us or helps us next year. Wearing apparel and uniforms, that's for me and the two civil clerks, added $50 a person, so three of us, that's $150 more for the year. Utilities, I think we're right on target at $75,000, so I left that the same for the year. Same with postage and same with employee mileage, meals and lodging. Questions?
Mark, do you know when we do utilities, does the county get a discount? Is this through
No.
Mount Pleasant
Mount
Utilities?
Pleasant Utilities, yes.
We get nothing from Mount Pleasant?
No, we do
Utilities?
not.
That seems reasonable.
Seems like we should, but we do not. Okay. Okay, page 6. Telephone, we have 4 cell phones in the department, and you can see the expense there, $1,920. No more Windstream, right? We now have Lisco, so that's there. I did lower that by $6,000, so hopefully that doesn't bite me in the hind end. Education and training, left that at $500. Next line item, I lowered by $3,860. That's building repair and maintenance in the administration wing. You can see that is broken down as a $9,900 line item. Brockway HVAC maintenance is $3,600 a year. They come and check all of our rooftop units, air and heat. ABC Fire, that's all of our fire extinguishers and fire suppression systems. That's $700 a year for maintenance. Winger sprinkler system is $1,500 a year. That is our fire water system, if you will, that goes throughout the building in case of a fire. They come and do quarterly checks and make sure that's maintained properly. Midwest Alarm is the sidekick to Winger. They're the alarm system that goes with that water suppression system. That's $1,400 a year. And then the generator at $2,500. You'll see I do have discussion to consolidate with the other departments on the generator maintenance. This has been confusing to me now for 13, 14 years. I always get a bill for this building. I haven't got a bill for the new one here yet, but I get a bill for mine, and I'm always calling them. They call and want to schedule, and I'm like, you were just here. It seems like every time I'm sure you face the same thing when you talk to Cummings.
You
like,
get them all
yes.
day long and to change it, and they won't.
Yes, and one comes from Cedar Rapids and one comes from Davenport, and I'm always arguing with them, saying you were just here 2 months ago. No, we weren't. We were at the courthouse. What was the address on that? And they'll say 106 East Clay. Well, up until you put the new generator here, it was 106 East Clay, with a generator for both buildings. And I'm always like, Shelley, Robin, did you just have a generator checked? I think it'd be super beneficial for someone, and if it needs to be me, I'll take that bull and ride it, to coordinate to do them all at once. To do the one here in the courthouse, the one across the street, and the one over at my building. Do them all at once. Coordinate with Cummings, and I don't care which Cummings or a different vendor, to get them here in one day.
Tyler talks to them for here, so
Yes.
we can have Tyler probably discuss
Tyler.
that with him for
That would be great.
all over.
I do know for the jail purposes, we have to have record of those inspections, and we have to make sure that the
Yes.
state jail inspector gets
Yes.
those. So I think it'd be wise to coordinate with Tyler. to make sure
That's
that.
a once-a-year check for the jail.
No, it's more periodic than that, yeah. I think there's certain criteria in our contract, like it's a full inspection once a year, or it's a fluids and hoses inspection 4 times a year. And then there's another like semi-annual, I can't remember what it is right now, but, they have to be checked. It is a John Deere engine, by the way.
So's mine. What clinky?
So I did make a note, so far this budget year, on ABC Fire, we spent 500. One year we spent 300, but they're due for their annual. Midwest Alarm spent 140, but they're due for an annual, and Cummins is 4,500 so far this year with the budget ending in June. Questions about that? Is that just a matter of getting with Tyler to discuss that and coordinating that, or do you
Yeah,
guys
he
want to
normally
be
calls
in
them if
on
there's a
that?
problem, cause he normally has to let them in out here, so he has to be aware when they come in.
There's just some general stuff going on with Tyler, we just need to make sure we get it all covered, but yeah, there's no reason.
Okay, I'd be happy to work with him if we can accomplish that. Okay.
Good plan.
Next is, office and data processing equipment. We have 4 copiers, at 5,200. We raised that $200 just because that has gone up that. Shield RMS record management system and jail system is 8,500. Live scan 1,600. That went up $248 this last go round. And other equipment repairs at 1,500. So I added $300 to that line item there.
We're having conversations with everybody about copiers and all of the IT support that may get transferred over to IT here in the near future, so.
Okay.
We'll keep that in mind as well, since we've got that at 5,200.
Yeah.
And again, that's just something I think we can better coordinate if we centralize that. So
Agreed. Well, I think we talked about that at one of our most recent department head meetings where
We did, yeah.
some offices are billed and some are all inclusive in a larger bill, so I think that
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. Dues and memberships, sit at the chamber, ISSDA and MOCIC and the NSA and Iowa IAI. Acronyms drive me crazy, so the chamber is obviously the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. ISSDA is the Iowa State Sheriffs and Deputies Association, which all of our employees are members. MOCIC is the Midwest Organized Crime, I forget the IC. NSA is the National Sheriff's Association, and Iowa IAI is Iowa Investigators Association. Next line item is Shield Mobile. Shield Mobile maintenance is $5,000 a year. Solutions Net Motion is $750 paid. That is paid through 2028. And Net Motion is a software designed to keep Shield Mobile active and attached to the server if we go into a place where there's no cell phone service. It'll keep that connection instead of kicking us out. And we have to have that, so. No changes to that one. Office equipment and furniture, no changes to that. Administration, $5,000, nothing to change to that. Mark may recall, just for Chad and Steve's benefit, we used to pay $5,000 a year to be members of the Drug Task Force. Remember that, Mark? We now use that $5,000 a year to buy equipment. Investigative equipment, the SIS-team, data pilot maintenance is $4,000, and covert track is $800 annually. Those are investigative tools, our cell phone extraction system, and GPS tracking monitors. Enough said?
Kind of familiar with the cell phone extraction tool.
It works.
Yes, it does.
Okay, we'll move on into general supplemental. General supplemental, we have uniform patrols, FICA, IPERS, and employee group life. I asked, and you guys said to add 5% to the cost for healthcare, so I added 5% to the healthcare cost.
That's fine.
IPERS and FICA are set by the state on a
Yeah,
percentage.
and it looks like it's gonna go up
Which
on
one?
you, I think it's the sheriff and deputies.
It went up last year,
Yeah,
so like
it-
13% maybe?
Oh, no, it dropped to 1208. No, wait. Oh, no, it went up.
I think it's a 13%.
It was like 11.96%
Yes.
for, this is the employer share.
Okay,
And then, it went up to 12.085%
Okay.
this year for the county to cover that portion.
I know when we calculated that, we went on the IPERS website.
Keeps going up, yeah.
and looked.
Mm-hmm.
The second 3 numbers are, communications, same thing, FICA, IPERS, and healthcare. calculated 5% increase on that. And the third set of numbers is adult corrections, 5% on those. Page 8 is administration, same thing, 5% on those. Sheriff's forfeiture fund, last year I budgeted 20, this year I'm budgeting 15, so a drop of $5,000. We didn't use as much as we planned on using out of that, this current budget, so I dropped it a little bit. The balance on our forfeiture account is $29,794. The bottom of the page, we start talking about the other deputies, the other 5. We still have 5 in there. That is Jesse Bell, Garrett Cargill, Preston Roberts, Cassandra Kraft, and Carlos Lopez. Those are the 5 deputies paid out of rural basic. So you can see that money, that's 5% as well. I do have a simple spreadsheet that if you decide to change that from 5% to whatever, just let me know and I can plug that in and get you the new updated data on that for any of those categories.
Good, thanks. I think Rob and Heidi are working on something similar to that.
Okay.
As well.
Page number 9, rural basic, FICA and IBRs, that's just the end of that. Middle of the page, the K-9 fund. The balance is $18,352. I did budget $15,000 to get a new K-9. So hopefully we can get that done by the end of this calendar year, not budget year. I'm hoping to get it done by the end of the calendar year, but time will tell and we'll see how that works out.
Who's covering for you now?
Basically whoever's available. We've used Dylan Beard more than anybody probably, don't you think? With the drug task force, he's a Des Moines County deputy, and he works with our people through the drug task force, and we use him most.
I just need to have somebody.
Yes, we do. Toward the bottom of page 9, inmate commissary fund, I budgeted $30,000 and I dropped that from 75. But the balance as of December 31st was $121,988 in the commissary account. That $30,000 is still for legal fees and other jail expenses, possibly the fob upgrade, depending on where we go with that.
So what all can that account be used for?
Anything that you can connect to a betterment or improvement of the jail.
Okay. So it's pretty wide open.
It is fairly wide open, yeah. I did get a call from the ombudsman's office, and we had a discussion, and as far as I know, it was resolved because we bought a car out of there last year and those legal fees, and I never heard anything with rebuttal after I explained how we connected those. I haven't heard anything. Have you? You got the original complaint.
I got the original one and I called him and I said, did you get it? And he said, yeah.
I haven't
And
heard.
that's the last
I
time
haven't
I
heard
heard
anything
from
back from it since. Yeah.
So was that vehicle for your use or for moving prisoners back and forth to the courthouse or?
Yes, all the above.
Okay.
So essentially, Steve, we use our newest vehicles for patrols, and then whatever patrol vehicle is due to be replaced and still in good working order, we work it into the
Rotate it.
jail.
Okay.
So it's kind of all inclusive as the sheriff's office.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious how those dollars were able to be spent.
Yeah.
So, which goes back to there was another fund that you had there that was fairly significant.
The K-9 fund,
No.
commissary,
Commissary,
that's the one we were just talking about.
total.
The balance as of December 31st was $121,988. And that's on the bottom of page 9.
Yeah, I got that. I thought I'll look at it. There's another one, that question there.
Forfeiture fund, that's toward the bottom of page 8. The balance is $29,794.
Yeah, what can you use that for?
Anything other than a normally budgeted item. So if we decide we're gonna get all new rifles or, a piece of equipment we don't buy every year. If we weren't using opioid funds, we could use it for those true Narcan, devices.
So can you use the opioid fund then to support a drug dog, a K-9?
I don't know the answer to that, but that certainly intrigues me a little bit.
I don't think you can. I think
There you go.
it can't be for enforcement actions. Has to be
Oh, that's
preventative-
correct, yep.
Preventative or,
Yeah.
helping afterwards.
Yeah.
Only prevention. Prevention education. Canine kind of helps
I'd say,
educate,
I'd
doesn't it?
say prevention.
I would say if Jesse says no, it's no, because he knows that stuff pretty well.
Okay.
Okay, the last section is revenue. Our proposed revenue for the year is $943,050. I'll go through them line by line, just like I did on expenses, and if you have questions, please interrupt and we can talk about them. First one is contract law enforcement. The city of New London is $2,000 a month times 12 months, $24,000 for the year.
And that's our 2080 agreement, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Or is
I am working on 2080s with all the municipalities. Some of them are free, to be blunt, and New London is the highest at $2,000 a month. How the others come out, we'll just see how those negotiations go, and we'll go from there.
Sorry, I got a cramp.
It's all right.
Are you dealing with Salem right now for 2080?
I'm working with all the municipalities in the next 90 days. Well, 70 days now. We'll see how those conversations pan out.
But that's specifically our Southern New London.
Yes. That's the only one we have locked in with an agreement, so that's why I put it that way. I did lower the next couple line items. That's the 40% and 60% for inmate housing. I lowered it from 35 to 30 inmates per day, but we are raising July 1st, our per diem to 65. It's currently 60. So you can see the numbers that I placed in there, and you can see why I lowered them. It's because we lowered the daily, average daily population's been down. However, go ahead.
Yeah, didn't you say 70 on your previous worksheet?
70? No, it was 60.
Was it 60? Okay.
We've been charging 60 for about 3 years. Do you recall when we changed that? I think it was 55 forever, and then I think it was 3 years ago we changed it to
Overall
60.
average. Okay.
And we just raised it $5 just because, you know, everything's more expensive today. So you can see that, and right after I did these figures, I got a call from Johnson County saying they're doing a remodel and they wanna know if we can house 30 for 90 days. So we'll see how that comes out. If we're over budget on revenue, that's always a plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, down about 2/3 of the way, we have city dispatch service. So for the last several years, we budgeted $12,000 in revenue. The police department was looking at new software for their police department, and they wanted to know if it would affect their annual dispatch fees. And I said, well, it might help you if you look at Shield software, because we used to have, if a dispatcher took a call, they entered it into the CAD, which is Shield, that said there's a stray dog running on Main Street. Then they had to turn around to another computer and enter a call card for the city police department saying there's a stray dog running on Main Street. They dispatch it out, the officer goes and takes the call. They say, we took a dog to the pound, so they enter it into the police department's system as stray dog went to the pound. Then they had to turn around the CAD and say they cleared from the call, so they're duplicating everything they did for the police department, specifically the Mount Pleasant Police Department. And I said, if you look at Shield, and we don't have to double our duty, we might be able to give you a discount. So they did. They did it. They started with Shieldware last July. I don't know that they love it as much as we do, but we've been with it since 2008, and we love it. It'll grow on it. Because quite frankly, I think Chad Doken are the ones, and Garrett, are the only ones who can vouch for it. When we went to Shieldware in 2008, we hated it. But we grew to love it. It's really user-friendly. You fill in the blanks, you hit enter, move on, and you can get a report on everything. I think I know how many people in our jail wore a size 9 shoe. I can get that report. It's really helpful. Either way, that's up to them. If they love it or hate it, that's their business. But I did lower their annual dispatching costs because we're not duplicating their records any longer. I think that warrants a discount. I did say to Chief Murray, hey, we're only lowering it a little bit because your dispatching service is about 1/3 of the county. So we lowered it to $7,500. It was a gentleman's conversation between Chief Murray and I, and that's what we came up with, and hopefully everybody's on board with that. Any questions? Okay, moving on. Abandoned vehicles, that's the next line item. Same thing as an expense. When we do those abandoned vehicles around the county, we can submit some of those to the state for reimbursement if they're on a state highway, etc., and we get about $1,000 a year on that. Next one is that VEST grant that we talked about. We have one new deputy coming on board, hopefully only one new deputy coming on board, unless they get hit by a bus tomorrow, then there might be 2, but We're also looking at upfitting our jail staff with stab, poke resistant vests, just because it's 2026 and that stuff happens. So we're gonna look at upfitting our jail staff with vests, probably half at a time. We'll probably look at our senior people first, because they've been here and they're tenured and they deserve them more than most.
Prime example, Fort Madison Penitentiary,
Just last week.
just last week.
Yep. So we got a guy coming, do you remember Jesse, is it Thursday?
For Dusty?
For Dusty. Jail administrator's gonna get fitted first and we'll see how his fits. And then we'll let the other jail staff say, we don't like this, we love this, and we'll tweak it and find the best ones. But we should be able to get grant reimbursement for those jail staff vests when they come. Last line item on page 1 of revenue is the tobacco checks. We do tobacco checks annually countywide, and we get reimbursed for that work, $1,500. Questions? Last year, unfortunately, we had several violations, so we had to recheck, I think 4 or 5 countywide that violated by selling tobacco underage person. Okay, page 2, the task force grant. I didn't know exactly what to type in here, but if you recall, I came to you about mid-year, it was last fall, and I said, hey, times are a little bit tight, they have some technology they need to upgrade at the task force, so they'd like to roll that revenue back into operating expense. So I put 0 this year when it's been 10,000 the last couple years. I did get a notice from the commander yesterday that a portion of that 10 grand is still gonna come. He thought around $4,000 to $5,000 because they've purchased the technology they needed to upgrade, and there's still some money sitting there, so they're gonna dole it out to the members of the task force. And just for a reminder, we used to pay $5,000 a year, and now we're getting a refund. And we've gotten about 10,000 the last couple of years. You can look and see there's 15,000, 12,000, 12,000, and 3,700 so far this year. Down about partway, traffic safety grant. We budgeted 40,000 there, and I think our contract last year was 60. But part of that was that special corridor speed enforcement that you love and what I love that's down in our neighborhood. It has made a tremendous impact on the crash data there, so I don't think that's guaranteed forever, so I didn't include that in there. I just put the 40,000, which is our normal GTSB contract. Next line item is sheriff's fees, and that's just fees that we have coming in the front door if somebody needs this or that. We collect about 40,000 annually for those requests. Last 2 items on that page, Social Security Incentive Program. So essentially, if anybody's on Social Security and they are incarcerated, they take away their benefit and they pay us for reporting to them who we have in jail so they can determine if they are on Social Security or not. So if Steve's on Social Security, he gets arrested, he doesn't get his money, the sheriff's office does, our portion of your money, because you're incarcerated. And the last one is weapon permits. That's just an annual amount of money that we bring in for weapon permits. And obviously, we're at the renewal rate from when the weapon permits became 5 years and mandatory, because the last couple of months have been inundated with renewal. So we've had quite a few. Page 3. This is the first 2 line items are Henry County room and board fees. I budgeted the same amount as last year. We've collected. You can see what we've collected in the previous couple years. That's for people serving time in Henry County for a Henry County charge. Where the ones we talked about earlier were for housing other counties' inmates. I'm sure you guys see the difference here. Third item is driving records. Annually, people come in and say, I'd like a copy of my driving records. We get a few of those, budgeted $100 there. The middle of the page, there's a couple line items there that I recommend that we just close them and take them off the board. One was a canine donation fund. It had to do with the stuffed axle dogs that we had. And the other one was school safety project. That's where we took donations to put the stop the bleed kits into schools. And those are finished, so I recommend taking those out. The next one, if you guys recall, we had an error on a crime commission payment. And I just recommend closing that because it was a one-time deal. I did that backwards. The K9 one I'm recommending closing was a one-time thing where we took a donation, and then down at the end of the page was the stuffed dogs. I transposed those. That's it on page 3. Page 4, the second item was just essentially we worked a partnership program with the U.S. Marshal Service where they reimbursed us for wages that we participated in that program with. And then 2 items down from there, has to do with Chad Doak and his court security. I recommend that we create a line item of revenue coming in and earmarking it like you requested. You can see what the dollar figures were for the last couple years and a partial for this year.
Right.
And I just recommend that we do that so that we year tag it correctly.
I fully agree.
I don't think there's much of an issue there. The revenue's been coming in, but, since we're paying it out, I recommend we.
The revenue comes in and goes back to the general basic, so it's basically going everywhere, because we do have another,
Yeah, I think that'd
line
be fair.
item
Yeah.
that money comes out of. So
Understand.
it's gonna be kinda hard to earmark that.
But it goes back to our unfunded mandates.
Mhm.
So what Mark and I have been talking about and working on to try to get some dollar values, I think it's good for us to have a baseline and understand where those go. No, it's challenging.
I don't-
Rich came up with the numbers.
I kind of agree with both of you. I don't think we need to, I think if we run it through my budget as an expense and as a revenue, that does earmark it. I don't think we need to do anything more particular than that.
As long as it's earmarked and we can track it.
Yeah, I think that should be pretty simple.
Because it helps us in the long run with some other things that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
On tracking unfunded mandates.
Yeah.
And those are things that we pay for and we have, recourse on.
Right,
So
yeah.
I think it will help us in the long term.
Going down to the bottom of the page, the last 2 items. School resource officer reimbursement, New London Community School District, I'm budgeting $75,000 in revenue there. And then the bottom one is for canine donations. Every once in a while, somebody just comes in and says, I'd like to donate $100 to the canine fund. I'd like to keep that open. And the last page is inmate commissary. You can see the previous years, what it's been. We're anticipating about $60,000 in commissary. I think since we've moved into the new building, I think we're looking at about $450,000 in commissary revenue. And I can generate that report and get it to you guys anytime you wanna see it. I have 2 reports, one that is strictly the housing Otter County inmates, and one is, commissary. When I report to you monthly, I combine those 2 figures to give you that monthly report of the revenue generated by housing Otter County inmates. Any questions? I would like to thank you for the opportunity to discuss these things, and if you wanna make changes to the proposals as far as wages go, I would just ask you, when you make a decision, just say, hey, Rich, we decided on X, and I can plug that X in, and I can get you all the data. I know Robin can do the same thing. It's just nice for me to know, cause I know where to see it,
Sure.
myself.
That's reasonable. Fair.
Any last minute questions?
I believe so. Good, thank you.
Thank you. Nobody went to sleep, thanks. No? No. Thanks.
Thanks, Rich.
Yes.
My understanding, the next one is for the county attorney's budget proposals. We did receive them an email last night. I thought that they were gonna come over, but it sounds like not. Is that
It says
accurate, Mark?
that he wouldn't make it, that's what it said on
Do you have it?
on the email, and then he sent you guys an email with the,
I can print it out. It was late yesterday afternoon.
he said he would send it to all 3 of you guys, and that he would not be here today. I think he's a little short-staffed in his office, I think.
I think the biggest question I have, Robin, is we looked at that data and what he put in versus what we see on those sheets. They're not adding up. So the sheet, for example, it talks about salaries.
What, okay, so that's been wrong in the past.
But if I add this up here, if I take his number and divide it by 2, it comes up to this number.
I don't, No, because we went off by the sheets that we got from the elected officials, like we are to every year. Every year.
Yeah, it doesn't add up, so we need to take a look at that.
This was, it was when he was talking about Tammy.
No, if you specifically look at his salaries on that
I-
worksheet, yeah.
I do look at that.
If you take that 160,000, whatever, let me pull this up, but the numbers are not adding up. If you divide that number by 2, it's 88,000, that's not 190. The number that he put in there.
Oh, the number that I even sent him his worksheet.
And Heidi had it in 190, because that's where he put it, but,
Yeah, because that's where we had it.
but that doesn't come out right, it's not the same, it's 88,000.
Oh, you mean what he has on the sheet?
Yeah, if you take his number,
Yeah,
that comes out to 88,000
okay,
for county attorney, assistant county attorney.
okay.
On the sheet that we have, that it says it's 190, so something's not adding up.
On this sheet.
Yeah, correct. And what Heidi has
Did,
listed down
did
is
you ask
190.
Heidi to get a copy of the sheet that we got in our office? that
She was
was
going to,
signed?
I think she brought it down.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Is this the correct sheet right now that we're working on?
Can't be, if the, I can't find what he sent us, I know it's here. But it can't be correct if his number
You look in his stuff.
in his spreadsheet is correct. Let me look. Yeah, right here. This is his. So he said that his two county attorneys are $176,000. You divide that by 2, that's $88,000. That number right there. The number that is on this other spreadsheet says it's $90,000 per county attorney. Like, something's not right.
Because that's,
But this is what he says.
Cause that's clerical, that's not his lawyers,
Doesn't,
but then it says
well,
salary.
it has to be because if you, well, that's his
Yeah.
salary.
His salary's at the top, and then it
Right,
says
and
right
that's
there,
correct.
it says salary and employees, right there. See that? And then
But
it
there's
says
not
clerk,
another, but there's not another number anywhere here that we know close to that. There's no other number that's remotely close to $88,000 or $90,000. I understand what you're saying, unless there are numerous columns added in to make the salaries, but those numbers are not consistent.
You have a copy of it?
you guys will have to ask him, it's his department.
No, I understand.
I'm just telling you what
Yeah.
we have upstairs in our office
Yeah.
by a sheet that he turned into us, is what we went by.
I'll print it.
Cover off there.
I understand what you're saying, it's just that the numbers are not consistent, they don't add up. Unless I'm missing something. That's possible. But if you look down through this spreadsheet, there's not another,
I just got the spreadsheet myself.
Yeah,
This is
not
not what I
another number.
studied for a week, so I need to
that's all right.
probably go back and check this out. And this is 3 executions. And then execution.
Everything else looks fine from what he's put in there, it's just those numbers are not.
He had to fill them out, so maybe he wasn't.
That number is $88,239.50, which is the same number that's in the spreadsheet that we got last year. That talks about salaries per person.
But this was just to give us a base of where we were at. That's all it was.
Yeah, I understand, but it's still the same number as that.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys came up, when you guys noticed that, you guys could have came up and asked me upstairs, and we would have dug in deeper. And I would have been more than happy to get that information for you. So, let me,
That's what this work session is for.
yeah, you could have came up and asked before this meeting, so I
We
could.
didn't have time.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
just got this like at 3:59 last evening.
Will the two assistants be at different rates?
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
No,
Could be, but I don't
no,
believe so. I
the
think
two,
they're the
two
same.
assistants were exactly the same. Okay, Blake and, Steve Boots.
But, for Abby,
She was
Abby is $70,200 a year,
at 80% or something like that.
something like that.
so on this, the 16809 divided or subtracted with, Steve's wage, and then if her wage was allowed to be that 70,000,
Is that the 30?
That's right.
that would be
50%?
way closer to that 160 rate.
So he's giving back
What's he looking
$15,670.
at? Steve. I got it right here.
That's fine, all we're asking for is just a clarification, so.
But I guess I wanna be sure that what figure for Steve's salary I'm calculating on, cause one document says one and another says something different here. Is it the 88,239? Because that's what Blake made as well, they were equal.
Well, it's gonna be the 70, wouldn't you think, because the 70 and the 90 is 160?
That's what I'm guessing, but I don't like to guess. That took the 16809 minus the 90,338, and that comes up to 70,470.
I got 165.39. So you're $300 off, whatever. All right. 160.
No, more than that.
No, when
You're
I
165,
calculated, what they
okay.
have in the in the system here,
160,000, is what you're saying, right?
yes,
Okay.
165.39.
And then it's just a calculation error.
Well, in his description here, it says line 100 reflects the replacement of Blake Vieira with Abby Lichty, reducing the budget by $15,670.
I see what it's saying. So, I know what he's saying. He's probably wanting to keep this. Yep.
Yep.
That's what he's saying. Cause Blake's gone, that's correct. 15,670 is the difference between the 16809 and the 176,471. So he's reduced it. That's what he's saying.
And
And he did not replace Tammy. So that's another reduction there, is what he's saying.
so really, right now, you're dealing with line item two, right?
Yeah, just make sure it's
Yeah.
right.
Trying to figure out which,
The number's probably close to correct, but it's just not broken down very well.
I don't know if first assistant increased anything, or?
So to answer your question, it was 3:56 PM last week. So it didn't give us a whole lot of time to react, and that's why I'm asking the questions here. So it looks like it's correct, if everything else is correct, but it's still, it goes back to whatever
It's pretty close to.
Gable Housing salary is.
And then it's, his salary for the year is $90,338.97 for the year.
So it's 90,000. So we should
Yes.
base that off of.
And then you take that 338.97, that's 165.38. It's a give or take, cause you get that, it's upstairs on the sheet. It's pretty close to a 9% decrease.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Is what he's doing. And he has another decrease, it looks like, because he's not replacing Tammy, he's just keeping what he's got.
Correct.
So you take that. 6, 4, 8, 6, 7, 45, 6, 4, 7, 9. That's almost a 26% decrease as well.
In the admin staff, it went from 3 to 2, reducing the budget by $45,033, right? So the only admin that we don't have is Tammy Mulford's.
There's a 26% decrease. So he's saying that he has the 45, correct on that. Maybe not.
So the 24,291 difference in Tammy's wage and what was reduced on budget from that is 24,291. And I don't know how that was dispersed.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and look at last year's.
That is last year's. That is last year's. See where it was budgeted? That was last year.
Yeah, that's even, but to Chad's point, it's not the same salary for both individuals. It's two individuals, Nicole Rose and Carol Ferguson. And they're close, but they're not the same.
Mm-mm.
Okay, any other questions on that? Chad, Mark?
I'm still working on it. As long as we get that straightened out.
I think it is now.
Okay.
Just making sure we had I understood breakdown.
So Nicole and
Kara are on that line,
Kara
On
are,
that line, but,
on the third
Yeah.
line.
No, third line.
so he had to raise Nicole quite a bit.
This is Nicole's salary. Again, if you guys go upstairs, there is a thing that we collect from every department on a letterhead. that explains each salary for each employee that they have in their department.
Yeah, we'd like to see that as well.
Yeah.
Cause he's got her salary
You come up
listed
and
here
get
at $59,289, which is $400 less than Kara Ferguson.
Kara Ferguson's been there longer.
And, I think to Mark's point, we should see what that increase is.
I took, Kara's last year's salary
Yeah, which was what?
and 54,836 times 5%,
What he's,
and then, double that. And we're within close to $4,000 wages of
that is the
cost.
girls' right there in the third line, that is the two girls' combined salary is 118,967. That's
Right.
correct,
But how's he getting that now?
because he is not adding,
I mean, that's what I'm saying, he increased Nicole's quite a bit.
Look here.
she's making $59,289 right now, per year.
See, we're not looking at apples to apples figures here.
What is she making on that sheet? On yours?
This one here,
Yeah, on yours. What is she making there?
Kara Ferguson is at 59,677.80.
Yeah,
And what's
which-
Nicole Rose at?
And Nicole Rose is at 59,289.30.
That's
Really?
correct.
Okay. All right. I
That's
was not looking at
yeah,
the right
that-
one.
yeah, that is-
That's 118,967, he's just rounding up as well.
But he hasn't put any raises in there.
No, he hasn't, he doesn't know, this is what happens, he goes with, if you guys decide to go with a percentage, then he goes with the percentage, but he didn't put anything in there, no. He kept everything
Understand
the
that,
same.
yeah, that just gets
I'll
back to
go
what
over
we
and
talked
ask
about
him.
with the compensation. He's not available, I thought that was the whole the whole point.
It was, but I mean, when he gets back, or shoot him an email and ask him
We
to
can ask
explain
him.
it to you.
Sure.
Everything is all the same, he's not asking for anything more.
I understand that, yeah, that's, I don't think that was the question, but yeah, I
Well,
understand that.
I'm not sure that is.
I'm confused. I'm telling you exactly what I see here, that's exactly what's going on. He didn't put an increase.
So line item 3 is Kara
And Nicole,
and Nicole alone.
yes.
Yep, combined, yep.
So those numbers jive pretty close to what they should be.
Right there is 118,967, it's just, when
Yep.
you come up with your numbers and you add those two numbers together, he's rounding up.
Yeah.
That's what he's got right there. And the reason why there's a decrease is
Amy Mulford's
somebody
salary is
else
out
was
of there.
being, yes.
But her salary was more than 45,033.
Yes.
Correct.
So there's, what, 24 difference?
Yep. And I don't see that in there anywhere.
It was added to that, see that where it was budgeted right there?
Yep.
Yeah. That amount was there to finish out Tammy's year, to go out in retirement, because we had to pay
Through the end of calendar
December of,
year 31.
yes, of last year. It's right there, it's 164.
Yep.
What he's asking for now is 118,967, giving you that difference of 45, just to finish out that half a year for Tammy, is why it's a big difference. Because you didn't have to pay Tammy's full salary to the full fiscal year.
No, but 6 months is not that number. 6 months is 35, so.
Which we also paid out her thank you, I'm just confused, confused. yes, vacation. We paid out rest of her vacation and everything. And that's the reason why we have that 45,033. I believe that's what I see there.
So that would be $10,000 worth of vacation.
I don't know.
Yes, that's what the number says.
Okay. You do have it, it's right there.
I know.
Isn't it?
That's,
This-
these are the notes I've taken. But they're not, again, it's not consistent with the other stuff we had.
Because these could have been wrong, because there was mistakes on this when Heidi ran this. It's the way that, just on these. So we'll see if we can't, it was on these that there was mistakes.
Okay, well, I thought we had corrected those, so
That was a different
that was-
spreadsheet that he had,
I think that's news to me and news to Mark.
that one. Mark, do you have that one or not?
I don't have that one.
Okay,
I don't have
and you don't have
that.
that one either,
I
that's the
only have this
updated.
one.
Okay,
Wait, you do have it.
okay.
No, it's the same as last one. No,
Yeah, that's an old one.
that's
I'd
the
pull
old
that.
one, yeah.
We don't have the other.
I don't have the one.
Let me burn you a
that-
copy of this
I
one.
don't
Well,
have the
why
one
would
with
you
the,
take two
title
copies
on
and
the
give
top.
it to them?
Still not sure it's squared away.
I'm not sure.
Not sure. But they're.
It gets close.
Well, it is to, except for the Tammy Mulford number that's excluded. I'm sure they explain that to us.
It was supposed to be only for a half a year for Tammy Milford. What I'm saying right there, okay, you know what, listen to me, where it says 164,000, that was with the girls' salary and the rest of Tammy's,
Okay.
right?
Correct, that's what we do.
That's what was budgeted. 5, 6,
I
7,
can do away with these, huh?
is it 033?
Yeah, 'cause I'm not sure
088?
what,
028, 175, oh, here's 45033, 033.
That's 164,000, that was just to cover the rest of Tammy's half a year, because that was budgeted, that's what you guys read on, or what was budgeted. So what he's saying, it's a $45,033 is what Tammy's was, so he's reduced it because he's not retired her. So what he's asking for is $118,967, because he had not put any raises for anybody, because that's what they're making now.
that's covering their current wage.
That's just what it is now, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
45,033 and 18 plus 118,964, which is 164, for what was budgeted. That year.
I understand what you're saying. However, if you're gonna pay somebody $70,000 a year, 50% of that is $35,000, it is not $45,000.
I understand what you're saying. He came in here and told you that this is approximately what she has left. That was agreed upon. That's it. That's all he's saying, is till the end of her
Yeah.
end
Which should be 35,000 to the end, which would be December 31, 6
for
months.
salary wise.
Yeah,
But was there
35,000.
other things added on?
But there was added on because of her vacation
Vacation.
that she accrued. That's what I'm
Well,
saying to you.
that's the question, so she had $10,000 worth of vacation that we paid out.
We can go back and take a
Is
look.
that, that has to be what it is, right?
Well, my understanding would be.
You could confirm that pretty easy, probably not,
Yeah, I'm sure I
right?
can. Yeah,
Perfect.
you gotta come up and take a look.
Okay.
Next.
Get rid of these.
Yeah. What else do we have, Chad?
If anybody wants it, can you print it off up there and I'll run up and get it, I mean,
I don't care, that's fine, it's not a problem, I can't print down here because my computer is still messed up with the Adobe. So yes, I could print one off, and then I can have you guys take a look at it, it's not a big deal,
Steve,
anybody can look at
you
it.
wanna look, I'll run up and get it.
Yeah,
print that off, I'll run and get it. I'm gonna take order a 5-minute recess.
Okay, that one's closer to me.
The supervisors need to take a break, and I'll go ahead and take what we will call an obscene profit center timeout right now as well, and we'll be right back.
Pfeiffer Sawmill, your local home for kiln-dried lumber and affordable trailer decking to your specifications, all in Rome, Iowa, serving Mount Pleasant and all surrounding areas. Do you like to throw a hatchet? They've got your board. Call Ben today at 319-931-4544. Did you know that I'm not only one of your favorite podcasters or even your favorite podcaster, but that I'm an author too? That's right. I'm the author of this book right here, Christy's Journey, The Beat Goes On. This is a true story about my daughter and my family. Back in June of 2019, my daughter Christy, at 29 years old, experienced cardiac arrest while at work at her job in Northeast Texas. The Lord lined up angels to save her, from her fellow employees to first responders to the doctors that figured out what was wrong. It was quite a journey. It turns out that Christy was born with a birth defect in her heart, something her mother and I never knew. Her pulmonary artery was on the wrong side of her heart. Christy was saved, and our entire family is eternally grateful and thankful. I would tell our story to different people, and I would say, the Lord has a plan for us, but I'm not smart enough to know what that is. So many times people would respond to me that I should write a book. Well, I'll tell you, it was the best thing that I could have done, and I hope you are interested in checking it out. If so, it's in lots of libraries in Iowa and in Texas. If you would like to have your own copy of our inspirational experience, you can get it online wherever books are sold, or go to BoBainDesigns.com and get it for $13.57, which is over $3 off the retail price.
Yeah.
We paid her that this year.
Is there more to this report, Robin? It looks
Nope,
like it's cut off. Is it right?
No, that's right.
Okay. So, can you help me understand?
Yep, here, let me see. Let me show it to you. See this here? Total wages paid out was $32,935.64. It's just doing the breakdown for withholdings, which is the federal and the state. That's what she elected to do for the 6 months that she was employed still.
Right.
So then the IFRS is the same way. So then you have your FICA, same thing. And then other deductions, that could be anywhere from extra that she paid for like voluntary stuff, for like life insurance or whatever over the course of 6 months. And then her net wages was this one.
Okay, but she was
Okay.
paid that.
This is what she was totally paid. All she did with that $45,088 was because of the fact he was buffing it because he didn't know how much it was actually gonna come out to be. He didn't want to be over in his budget. That's what we paid her for 6 months, from July to December 31st. So we'll still have a balance probably in there. 32,000, what is it, 32,000?
935.64.
So I did a FOIA while we were chatting and just received this as the county attorney and Ms. Ferguson were leaving to go to lunch. So, thank you. No one else needs to respond. They met as hard copies.
32 what?
$32,935.64.
So now $12,000 left over in the fund, sure. What was it say on that paper right there? The 45,033?
It's not in there.
Okay,
It's not in there at all.
because he knew that she was gonna leave.
Yeah, well, he's done
No,
that.
it's right there, it's, let me see.
That's fine. Her salary's on there. That was the whole question. If
That's
she's
if-
making 69,000.
That would have been, he's saying that this would have been a fiscal year.
Yeah. So
So,
half of that is
yeah,
35.
yep. Got it.
You have it?
There
you go.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not totally, because it's still
No,
off
we're
like
just
$12,000.
Against this number.
$12,000 is what's left.
I'm not that, I'm just going off of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the total amount that we paid her. And then it breaks down, if you look across there, Mark, it breaks down from her state, federal withholdings, and at the very end, it shows you the net taxes.
Right, but I'm
Or
taking
the
it off of this. What her salary was gonna be divided in half.
That's what I was good.
And it's more like 35,000,
Right.
not quite 35,000.
Does that have the same dollar amount on that one? On that spreadsheet of what her actual salary was on that, from that sheet?
And this one?
No, the sheet, this one, the one that you just showed me.
This is the one I'm showing.
Can I see that, please?
That's the one that you said was correct.
No, this did not come from me. And the one that was correct is that. Yeah. Does it say 69,324.15 on that sheet right there?
It does.
It does.
What is
That's
that?
correct, it's right there.
Yeah. And 50% of that. That's what that should be.
Right.
It's not.
Well, I'm telling you, that's what we paid her, was 32,000.
We're
That's
paying
exactly.
less than what we should, what he's asked for then, originally.
Yeah, he may have just upped it. Didn't know we were gonna pay out, she had a lot of vacation. A lot. And I did that report from July 1st, the beginning of the fiscal year of this year, to December 31st of last year. Because that was it, she was done.
I understand. And that's the 6 months, which is 50%. So that's why it's off.
Actually, on his
I
budget.
know how to explain it more, cause it's like, I feel like he buffed it a little bit, just, cause like I said, we had to pay her out on her vacation, she had a lot of vacation. She was a very dedicated employee here. She
So
did
if
good work.
anybody's questioning that,
I'm
making
just
sure the
saying,
numbers
she
are-
was here all the time.
So if anything, the county is ahead of the game.
A little bit, exactly,
That's what
By-
I'm saying.
about $1,700.
Yeah, close to a couple grand.
Right. Depends on the vacation. If she got paid out, I'm sure she got paid out for it, but.
She got
not-
paid
that
out
would
for
be
the
the
rest of her
difference.
vacation that she had,
By the end of the year.
yes,
Yeah.
it's already done.
So that would be the total difference.
All right.
That makes more sense. A better explanation, thank you.
Anything more on that budget?
I mean, everything is the
How
same.
how many other budgets do we have to go through as well?
You and I talked this morning, you said P and Z, right? Because we hadn't done that
We
one.
had P and Z that,
I don't recall
I'm
us
pretty
talking
sure I
about it.
handed out, but we never talked about it.
Yeah, we haven't gone over that one.
But I thought also, yeah, this one. I printed off more worksheets, cause I don't ever remember us talking about it.
We did not.
But I did hand them out because I had them in my pile. And we have talked about the courthouse, which is Tyler Freeze, and I have that, and I gave that to you guys already.
We did, we talked about it, and we have some work to do on it, probably, but yeah.
Actually,
But that's the reason why we had to add it to
I'd like
this
to have
one.
Tyler come in and talk to him, what we expect
Yeah.
and what is he's thinking.
And which
We
is
have
I've
an
talked to him.
understanding, and I don't know with what I expect from him and what he's thinking are the same, and what I'm thinking is that maybe we're not gonna pay him enough for what we're asking him to do.
So I've talked to him when I was putting this together, and I asked him. And then since, you know, you had the extra security stuff on just recently, and that's the reason why I discussed that with you guys, is that I've already went ahead and I put in a 5% instead of 4% for him. And I asked him if anything else was gonna go up, like his extermination fee,
License,
not only the license, but like the products that he uses.
As chairman, I gotta bring this up, I wanna bring it up for discussion. This was not, I mean, P and Z was not on the agenda to be discussed.
I think technically we can discuss anything, we just can't vote on anything, right?
I think we could.
Which is, that's what you're doing now with all budgets right
Yeah.
now, and it's still a budget session. And you guys have not made any determination on agreeing on anybody's budget, because we do another work session or whatever. So that first one, what are we talking about now? You guys wanna talk about the,
P and Z,
okay.
that's what I have in front of me, so when you handed this.
Okay, and then I thought this was gonna be at another discussion with Paul as well. Paul or open or closed session, remember, he asked for the extra 5, or the wages for the 911 that he has added to that sheet.
Yes, you
guys
did.
see?
I can
So,
give you a quick answer. My opinion is no, but Chad, you've had a conversation, so.
He has, in conversation, he has told me that he does not want to pursue that any further.
okay. I'm telling you what he gave
I-
and turned in to me.
I'm not doubting that a bit. I'm just saying,
But that
he
was
verbally told us that he wasn't gonna pursue
a month and a half ago. Yeah.
that.
He's not gonna pursue doing anything for the state
For
or
the-
asking for the
For the 911
wage-wise.
wage increase,
Okay.
for the GIS work that he.
Nobody tells me that, okay.
That was a recent conversation, I believe.
So, what do you want me to do with the wage then?
Well, at this point, 88,357 is the salary.
That's what it is right now.
That is correct. And that's what we should work off of until we determine if and what that potential raises should be. Because we've not.
And
made
you
that.
said per Joe, said that he's not gonna pursue that increase, is that correct? Per Joe. Said, no. No. Just wait for the original. Okay. Okay, well then the FICA's off, and then the IPERS are off.
So, I guess, Robin, it's a surprise that I've seen this on his budget
I
paperwork.
passed him out, cause I don't have it.
So I'm just surprised, because verbally, he told me that he was not gonna pursue that anymore.
That's
This
fine.
is dated the 5th of December, so you're probably right.
Okay,
So
so,
it's just an older sheet.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So if you guys have that already, be careful because it's loaded and stuff. Nothing else has really changed on there. The FICA and IPERS will change on this one.
Yeah.
So bring it down. Here. So let's just say,
1,500, 1,400.
let's just, all we have to do is do it 5%. It'll be cheaper. Let's just say it's a 5%. If you guys decide to go with 5%, I go high so that it'll go low.
So, Chad and Marcia's on page 2 on the backside, there's a software service and support for $5,700. That's part of a conversation with IT. Potentially moving that.
Into the IT
Budget.
department.
Yeah. We just need to get a better understanding what that is. I don't know if it's something unique or specific, but at any point, we just need to understand what it is and then potentially move that to IT. I see a lot of community betterment here, Mark. I don't know how that all adds up, but it's something we should take a look at.
That's it.
His whole salary's taken out of community betterment fund, and
So next week, you guys are wanting to plan something next week? Yes or no?
I couldn't hear.
Do you wanna plan something for next week? Yes or no? I have a meeting at 1 at emergency management. Kelly Farm. Something on their schedule.
Is that next week? What is it?
The third. Yeah.
The assessors conference board meeting is on the 3rd, isn't it?
Correct.
Are you guys going? Cause I gotta put it up on the board.
Yep.
Yes.
What time?
5:15 PM. 5:15 PM.
Okay.
And all 3 of us will be there.
So I'll post it.
You guys wanna meet as a work session or anything on the 2nd or the 3rd prior to that meeting, or? Any,
Sure, why not?
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to work, you know, I don't care.
On it and discuss what our numbers are, and I'll try to work that.
That afternoon, maybe we could,
Of what day?
on Tuesday?
the 3rd?
Just,
Are
I
you
have a
busy?
meeting at 1 o'clock at emergency management.
How long will that be?
I have no, I don't know, Kelly Carr asked me to come out and present.
You know, we could meet, we could have a meeting starting at 2 o'clock ourselves.
I have an appointment at 2.
Oh, okay.
How about can we just do a different day maybe?
Yeah, we can do
Is that
different.
okay? Okay,
I could do,
what about Wednesday
I
or
can't do Wednesday, Thursday, because I'm in Southeast Iowa. Days,
Friday?
Friday I can.
The 6th?
You guys wanna meet on the 6th? Can you, Chad?
Yes.
What time? Work session.
What time you want?
I'm just confirming here.
So on the 4th and 5th, I'll be in Des Moines with Southeast Iowa Days. With Rachel and the team from.
You wanted it, 8 or 9 in the morning?
I'm fine.
Do mornings work better for you?
7:30?
They,
5:30. Robin's up.
no,
4:30?
5:30.
8:30?
Sure.
8:30.
I'm fine.
This is a budget work session, correct?
Yep.
So I'll try to get a spreadsheet around on everything that's been requested out of certain accounts, how about that?
That'd be great. And then if you could maybe get that updated payroll list that you.
That
shared
is,
with us.
that's,
That one is
that was
current
dead
right now?
on.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just looked at what he sent in and what you had and versus what you guys had on that spreadsheet.
Alright, we can use that.
Heidi did fix that spreadsheet.
I'm not sure where I would have gotten
She,
an accurate report and not anybody else.
I don't know,
I don't know, you're
Where'd it go?
favored.
okay,
you're on it,
the
Madam
budget,
Chairman,
so we'll review
No,
all the
I've had
budgets.
this longer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
okay,
8:30 to what?
Whenever.
whenever. Yeah, appointment that afternoon or just whenever or all day?
I'm good all day, on Friday. I'm just out of town for,
And then Thursday's meeting.
starting
I
tomorrow.
did send you guys a template for you guys for agendas.
Any other business on budgets?
Add what you want.
Now.
For Thursday, I'll leave it up to you guys. Oh, we're talking next week.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, you wanna have a board supervisor meeting on Thursday?
I can come here and.
To get back,
report.
to get back in sync?
He's just giving me a rough, he's giving me a rough time.
Next week or this week?
You can't do it this Thursday.
No, on.
You gotta-
I
Next
guess-
Thursday,
I can't
do it at five.
Thursday, when you guys come back.
Next Thursday, I won't be here, but you guys can go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
I'll be in Des Moines.
that's right.
Yeah, I got on, that I'm gonna be here, but. I'll
Are you
give
wanting to
our-
move the whole
I'll be
entire
here.
day?
I'm sorry?
You guys want to move the whole entire day?
No.
You'd
It's
be-
all right.
You'd be,
I'll give you some info if there's anything I've got.
okay, so Thursday
We good.
still having meeting.
And if there's any, that work?
Sure.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine.
If there's anything significant, we will
Sure, it'll be fine.
postpone that, a vote,
Okay,
so you can be involved in that, so.
so just get that agenda sent to me and I'll put in that.
Okay, do you want,
Hmm.
on the agendas, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, it wasn't consistent with the last one, so I just sent you a template of what you want on there. All you gotta do is add it.
It's the same template, same format.
That's it, right? The same format, I just went off by what it was last time, and I just did the same format.
Yeah.
You guys send it to me, and I'll have it sent.
I guess I don't mind putting it together, but I need to know in written form what people want on that agenda, moving forward. And I need to have it a day or two before the meeting time so I can get,
If
Back
anything
on.
is with our departments and they're on there and they have a resolution, they'll send me the resolution and I'll add it to it. That's why I'm asking you
Well-
to email that to me.
I think it makes better sense if we
Okay.
email everything to you and you just plug it in to the format.
And you know what my life is when you're asking them to get back to you and put something on the agenda.
Well,
Nobody contacts me, communication.
guys, what do you want me to do? I mean, you want me to put the agenda together and then share that with Robin? Or should we share items of business with Robin directly so she can put that on and get it scheduled?
Well, I think we should make sure we know what we want on the agenda, and then we can relay that to you, but I think as the secretary to the board,
Well,
we should
that's,
allow her to be able to put that into the format,
okay.
so it's correct.
9 o'clock Tuesday morning is when I expect those things
That
to
work?
be in.
9 o'clock Tuesday mornings,
Yeah.
then everybody, so,
Tuesday mornings at 9.
Hey, I'll take
No
8:30.
later.
8:30,
8:30, so you give you a half
so I
hour.
give you, yeah, there you go.
So we could be
Make sure they get it
on the
posted.
spot, Johnny on the spot. What's this about?
I think, not mine, am I right?
Any further business?
What is that about?
Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anybody second that?
I second that, yes.
We are adjourned.
Well, that was a lot to soak in on this episode. The good part is you can watch it again. So there you have it, another episode of what we're going to call Podcast Excellence. Please do me a favor and give this episode a like. Make sure to follow and subscribe. It's free. Thanks for watching, and thanks to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, CW Tree Trimming LLC, and Iowa Technology Systems. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.